October 2011, new legislation was brought in which allowed agency workers to qualify for equal treatment on pay and other terms and conditions after 12 weeks in a given job. However, there is a loophole in that legislation which allows hirers and employment agencies to avoid their responsibilities of awarding equal pay. Here in Doncaster, the pay difference between an agency worker on a PBA contract and an agency worker on equal treatment is at least £3 an hour. That's hundreds of pounds a year.
Can I get you to sign up with campaigning opposition to the disparaging agency workers' pay?
We look after people who are on those PBAs, and I had a chap in the other day in the office, and ultimately his life's on hold because he's on just £7 an hour. He wants to ask his partner to marry him. He wants to have a wedding. He wants to start a family. So it's really affecting people, you know, in the worst possible way.
Send it to your MP.
Thank you very much, and good luck with everything.
Unfortunately, this is a legal practice. Many of our members don't even know when they're signing that they're actually signing away their rights to equal treatment and equal treatment on pay.
As far as I'm concerned, really straightforward issue. We're all doing the same job and we all deserve the same rate of pay. Anything else is just patently unfair.
How are you? Yeah, John, have a badge.
The training that you receive from BT is second to none. The values of BT are second to none in the way that they work with their employees to encourage them to do the best for the customers. But if they paid that little bit more investment into their agency staff, it would make agency staff more productive in terms of their outcomes and productivity. But agency staff are feeling sometimes disillusioned that they're having to work just as hard, but still at the end of the day are taking home a less basic pay.
It's whether they actually take on board what the amount of work that the CWU are trying to do to try and push this through. So more optimistic than I was, say, a few months ago when you were just talking about it with your colleagues. Now it seems that someone's actually doing something about it, and I think more people are going like on the website and stuff now and reading more about it. So everyone's talking about it now and saying, have you been out to see them? Have you talked to them? And just it's putting the issue onto people's minds, and you can tell that through this.
It's really important for us to be here today just to make sure that everybody is aware that the campaign that we're running is going on, and to reassure people that the CWU cares about the campaign that we're running, about agency pay and about some of the things that are wider than things just inside the call centre and just the day-to-day stuff, that we do have a broader campaign and a political agenda. It's important to remind people of that, about the bigger things that the union gets up to.
See you later.
Moving on to Lincoln, here we are outside the BT call centre, and we've got members and activists that have gathered here to protest against the huge differential that exists. £550 a month differential between those that are on a pay between assignment contract and those that are on other agency contracts, working side by side for the same hirer and employed by the same employment agency. That is absolute disgraceful.
Well, it's not a situation that the CWU can tolerate. We fought hard and long to introduce and get the legislation for agency workers and get the justice that they so deservedly needed, and to now have the situation where we have people sitting side by side who are on, in this site, particularly in Lincoln, over £550 a month difference is not something that we can accept, and that's why we're raising the issue today.
From a moral perspective, various companies going about corporate social responsibility, well, they've got a responsibility and a moral obligation to pay the correct thing, and a lot of the agency staff aren't even on a living wage, which for a company who supposedly supports it, I think is quite poor. So the sooner they can see sense and get it right, and the sooner we can close the loophole, the better.
What we want is that we want companies to stop using these contracts, and ultimately we want the government to close the loopholes that currently exist for our members to be exempt for equal treatment on pay.